Hello, intuitive souls. Welcome, welcome. We are here for another psychic party. Yay, yay. So, I hope that you have come here with a positive attitude, an open heart, some questions because I love answering your questions. And today, I decided it would be fun to maybe work with the wild wisdom of the fairy oracle. I haven't worked with this one in a while. And so, yeah, we'll see what the fairies have to say. Um, so I wanted to share a story with you guys real quick because I was flipping through the cards and the first card, well, the only card that popped up as I was flipping through it is follow me. And it says, come, this is your invitation to enter the realm of the fairies. So obviously, the fairies are inviting you into their realm. If you're seeing this, this is an invitation for you too. And so fairies can be very fun to work with. Now, you have to be careful because, of course, there are fairies that are good and fairies that are a little more nefarious. They're who you might want to turn to if you need to maybe get some justice or something, because those are the fairies that are just like no mercy, right? So you have to be very careful. But the ones that are fun, are really fun. They're light, they're full of life, and they've just got this wonderful spirit. However, I do want to tell you guys about a time when I called in some fairies because I thought it would be fun to invite them into my magic and into manifestations and just see what would happen. So this was a few years ago. Back then, I had this beautiful backdrop in my bedroom and I used it to record some of my older videos. And in my room, I decided to set up this little altar for the fairies. So on it, I had some rose water because I heard they love rose water. I had some crystals that are good for attracting fairies, and I also had this little like, I guess it was a doll cup, like this little glass thing, and I poured just a little bit of wine in there because we've all heard that fairies enjoy sweet wine, right, and honey and things like that. So poured a little bit into this little glass. So I say this little, prayer to them. I invite them to come be a part of my life. I'm like, hey, I'd love to work with you. I think you could be a lot of fun. So I go to bed that night. And it didn't take long before I started hearing the pitter patter of tiny, tiny, tiny little feet on the altar that I had made for them. I heard little giggles, and it was just like they were dancing. They were having their own party in the room. I wasn't scared, but I was annoyed. So I am lying in bed, and they're just apparently having the time of their life in my room. And finally, I get up. I'm like, guys, please, for the love of God, would you please quiet it down? Like, I need to get some sleep. Please, please, let me sleep. So they did not let me sleep. I go back down and I continue to hear all these noises, and I knew that they wanted me to get up and play with them, but I was exhausted. And so you know what they did? They actually knocked down my photo backdrop. My photo backdrop had never fallen before, and I don't think it fell one more time since, and again, pretty sure it was them. So they knocked this thing over, and I'm just like, oh my God, are you kidding me right now? So of course I get up, turn on the lights, and the moment I turn off the light, it's like they go quiet. No more playing, no more dancing, nothing, no more giggles. And I was so mad. I'm like, guys, you have to stop this. Please, you have to stop. I need to sleep. No more knocking over my things. Like, this is not okay. So I put the backdrop back up. And at this point, I am just so mad. I am regretting the fact that I've invited them to come hang out and turn off the lights, go back to bed, and it's quiet for a brief moment. And then what do I hear? The patter patter of dancing little feet. So they just like continued partying all night long. And that morning when I got up, I looked at the little couplet thing that I had, completely bone dry, completely empty. There wasn't even a single drop or even like a little you know how when you have wine and it's been out for a while, there's at least some type of a ring or something, but it was completely gone. So yeah, so the fairies got drunk and they were partying it up in my room. So all that said, they're fun, but be careful because they are mischievous, they're highly independent, and I mean, if there was a deity connected to chaos magic, it would be fairies. And even as I said that, I felt like I insulted them a little bit. Sorry, guys, but it's true. So, anyways, all right. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Nicole Guillaume. I am a psychic and a medium. I am so excited to have you here today. And before we get started, I did want to go over the house rules with you. So, first and foremost, please know that when it comes to mediumship and even the psychic readings I do for you, I cannot control who comes through, what comes through. I am just an open vessel at this point, allowing information to shine through. And hopefully, every message that comes through will be one that resonates with you and helps you along your journey. If I am doing a reading for someone else, but it resonates with you, that is a sign that that message is also for you. If you put out a question and I don't see it, and I don't answer it, please don't take it personally. Not everyone who shows up today will receive a reading, and I will do my best to connect to as many people as possible. When I do readings here on this platform, it is lotto style. My eyes just will go to a specific person, and I will just pull a card for that, or not a specific person, random person, and it's lotto style. It's lotto style readings. And of course, if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can visit my website, guidingechoes.com. I know sometimes people want readings, but they don't want to air their dirty laundry here. Totally get it. And then also with a personal reading, I can put so much more of my energy into you. And it is a half hour, an hour of us just tuning into whatever you need answers to. So yeah, so if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I would love that. And I think you would too. Alrighty. So, we'll go ahead and start with Serious Lisa. She's asking, can I have a reading, please? So, Serious Lisa, I'm going to go ahead. I feel like I want to pull cards for you. And actually, I don't want to pull fairy cards. I want to pull Lenormand, actually. Lisa, is there a specific question that you had? Something specific you wanted to know about, or are you looking for something general, just like whatever comes up? So also want to say hello to everyone who's here today. We got quite a few people here. Love it. Love seeing all these people in the chat. Let's see. All right. And Lisa, your cards are just like popping out as I'm pulling them. So let's see. I feel like this one wants to come out and play. All right, Lisa. So when it comes to Lenormand, we have the mice. And so that's an interesting card because mice can indicate, to me, this indicates annoyances. I know some people, if I remember correctly, sometimes people see this as a thief, like there's a thief among you, but I'm not getting that. I'm getting like small annoyances that are maybe getting in the way of you just concentrating and doing the things that you want to get done. Next, we have the stork. So it's possible that you are working on a new project or there's something new you're wanting to bring in. And then we've got the gentleman. So it's possible that there's a guy in your life that's causing these annoyances that maybe you're wanting to move forward with something. And or maybe this is about your love life and you're wanting to bring someone in, but maybe you're meeting a bunch of people who don't quite align with you. So as far as the messaging goes, if you don't know, well, let me see. I do feel like there's something new coming into your life, and this does feel like, okay, so you want to be careful with the new connections and relationships and friendships that you're forming because money annoyances. I was just saying the word mice. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, Lisa. You have to be very careful with the people that you're trusting or bringing in because I feel like these are new people. We've got the stork and we've got the gentleman, and I don't know that this is necessarily a new male figure that's in your life. It could just be a new person, but you want to be very careful with them because sometimes when we bring new people into our lives, they can see fun in the beginning. And then as we get to know them, they actually do become those small annoyances with the things that they say, the things that they do. And maybe they're being funny. They think they're being funny, but they're belittling us in a joking type of way. But all of that sort of adds up. And it can damage our self-esteem, but it can also damage our focus. So I would say be very mindful of what it is that you want to bring into your reality. Like even start thinking, okay, how do I want tomorrow to be? Like, what do I want Saturday to look like for me? And maybe think about the different people that are in your life or the different responsibilities you have and ask, Are these the things that are bringing me closer to the life that I want? Are they bringing me peace? Are they bringing me more annoyances? Like, what exactly is happening here? Because I do feel like I feel like you put up with way too much, way more than you should probably. Like you even said, you're too kind. Yeah. I think you put up with way too much bad behavior from a variety of people, and I think that when you meet people for the first time, you're probably also too nice during that situation too. And let's be honest, all of us are nice. Like when you meet new people, that's just good manners, right? Um, but it's important to really know your standards. Know your standards for yourself, but for the people that are around you, because people are either adding to our life or they're taking away. They're very rarely neutral, unless they're in our outer circle and they're more of an acquaintance. um so just be mindful, be aware of the people coming into your life. You mentioned money annoyances, so if this is referring to money, that might indicate that there is someone in your life who is maybe spending money or using money, taking money that is yours. I don't think this is you. I feel like this is an outer person, another person who is maybe making financial decisions either on your behalf, or these financial decisions affect you in a way that is not in alignment with your goals, not in alignment with what you want to see happen. Um, so I actually don't feel like that's a conversation that needs to take place. I feel more or less like that's an energy that you need to pull, which means that we don't talk to this person about how their actions are affecting us. We just start taking action on our own, which means if someone has access to our credit card and they're running it up, then we remove that access. And if they come and talk to us about it, we tell them, you're spending money in ways that I don't agree with, and you're running our credit into the ground, whatever it is. So I revoked the access. Because people, by and large, know what they're doing, right? I mean, let's be honest, people know what they're doing. And so actions speak louder than words. So that's what I'm getting for you, Lisa. I hope that helps. Okay, we've got Jolie. Hi, Jolie. Nicole, may I get a reading, please? Just general. All right. Let me see, Jolie. Let me see what I got for you. Lisa, to answer your question real quickly, I do see a motherly spirit near you, whether that's your actual mom or someone who's mom-like. I'm not entirely sure. Also, for some reason, I just heard something about hair. So I heard hair. I don't know if you're about to get a haircut or change your hair, or maybe this person was someone who worked with hair, but I just heard hair. So those are the two things I picked up for you. I know that's not an actual message, but sometimes that can just be validation that they're near you and they're watching you. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense for you. Okay, Jolie. What I pulled for you is the scythe, the clover, and the lilies. So this is very interesting. So the scythe can be an ending. It can either be the harvesting or the cutting off of something. And for you, I feel like this is the cutting off of something. I feel like you're either currently cutting something or someone out of your life because you've realized it's nonsense. Maybe they've cut you out, but I feel like this is about you. Maybe you've already done that, or you're in the process of it. And that is such a great energy for you to be in, because next we have clovers. And so, by you cutting out the nonsense, you're really opening up the doors for good luck. But also, we have the lilies. And so, the lilies can be about friendships, it can be about really just better things coming through. And I feel like this can also be about kindness and compassion. When I see a lily, I think about kindness and compassion. So I feel like this might be showing that, again, either you've been cut off from something, someone. This will be something or someone that was significant to you at one point in time, and maybe still is. But by removing them, or by removing yourself, you are making way for more good things to come into your life. So with the clover and the lilies, I feel like this is also saying to be gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself. But I do feel like you've got a lot of good things that are coming in for you. The scythe can also, while it's also about cutting off, it can also be about a harvest. So it's possible that you're in a season right now where you're harvesting good luck, you're harvesting kindness. So yeah, I feel like over the next few months, you're really going to see a elevation. It'll be slow. It's going to be a slow building, but like a slow elevation to, I want to say, just, I don't know how spiritual you are, but I want to say higher realms. So I don't know if you've been working on your I don't know if you're working on mediumship or maybe just, I don't know. I just heard the word higher realms. So you might notice that any psychic or intuitive gifts that you have start to open up more. And I really see things taking a really good shift for you somewhere in, I want to say June or July, somewhere around that time frame. But I think you're going to see a complete up level in just everything around you. So higher quality friends. I think you're going to be in really good spirits. So yeah, it does feel like there's some changes taking place for you, and it does feel like they are all good. So, alrighty. Tyler, I do have psychic abilities, but I was not sure and was wanting to see if you could tap into my energy and tell me if I do have abilities like that. Tyler, I feel like you have some mediumship abilities. Actually, I feel like you can connect to the other side. And I don't think that this is something you do consciously. I feel like you'll just start to notice activity around you. And I do feel like you might have some spirits around you that are more, I want to say, familiar to you. So this could be like a grandfather. It could be, I also see like a spirit of, I want to say a dog or some type of an animal around you as well. So that's what I'm getting for you. Oh, that's funny. I just scrolled down and you said something about my career working with animals will lead. Okay, yeah. So you've got animals around you. So you might want to look into, I was going to say animal mediumship, but I just see mediumship. I see very much that you're a medium. Um, and I think that for you, you do see probably shadows or people or movement, something out of the corner of your eye. And I do get that you sometimes, I do see that you feel the presence of spirits around you. I don't know how well they're able to talk to you or communicate with you, but it feels like for the most part, you're aware of their presence. So, if you wanted to really tap into that more, that's definitely something that you would probably excel at rather quickly. would be mediumship. And I also see you maybe having a healing touch with animals. So maybe looking into animal Reiki if that's something you're interested in. Where you can send energetic healing to animals, but I do see animals in spirit around you. And so these could be animal guides, they could be pets or just animals that you cared for at one point in your life, but you are surrounded by spirits and by animals. So yeah, so you definitely have a natural inclination for that. Catherine, thank you so much. Catherine sent me $5. It looks like you're a great teacher. Thank you for your time. Oh, that was very sweet. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it very, very much. So Tyler says that is so true. I just saw a dark figure in the hallway a few days ago, and it was after. Um, and it has went after my mom, and I do not like that. Oh, went after your mom. Eek. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, hi, Laura. Been a while. Um, so Tyler, one of the things, so a few years ago, I lived in a house that was very haunted, very, very haunted. And I had a friend recommend a Himalayan salt lamp. And I'll be honest, at first I thought, well, that's dumb. That's not going to work. But I was at the point where it's like, I'll try anything. And so sure enough, I got a Himalayan salt lamp, and it really helped. And so you can maybe get a Himalayan salt lamp for your mom in her room or different rooms of your house and see if that helps. Um, and I don't even know if the salt lamp really needs to be on for it to work. You might just need to have one. I had mine on a lot though. And I also had some running water. I had a little fountain that I bought because it was a little miniature fountain that I got, I think like at Walmart, and it was so soothing. And there is something about running water that helps to keep the energy in a home fresh, and flowers are good for that, living plants. But especially flowers because you can change them in and out. and just keep something lively and bright and beautiful in your home can make a difference. But yeah, so you might want to try getting a Himalayan salt lamp for your mom and see if that helps. Scorpio 1180. Hi, new subscriber. Well, welcome, new subscriber. Can you maybe give me guidance on how to use my intuition better? So, one of the ways that you can use your intuition better is, first of all, remember that your intuition is the language of your own soul. And so if you're able to really get in touch with your own soul and become aware of your own energy, that's really going to help you to become better at determining and decoding its language of the messages that it sends to you. So, meditation, even though it's boring, is a really great way to start. But I know that some people have a tough time with meditation. So, I think that even practices like butterfly tapping, which we see in EMDR, can be helpful. So doing something like that while you're listening to music and you're just taking some nice deep breaths and you're visualizing something beautiful can be helpful. I think even going for walks in nature does something to our spirit and helps us to elevate. So the more in tune that you get with your soul and the more you pay attention to your intuition when it does speak up, the more you'll be able to tap into your intuition naturally. And when you want to get an answer from your intuition and you want to get more accuracy out of it, that's something you'll be able to dive into. I also have a meditation for free. I think it's in the link to this video. It's called the Glow of Intuition. And that is a free guided meditation that you can download for free. And it walks you through different scenarios where your intuition was lit, where it was accurate. And then it also, after that, it guides you into a meditative journey where you're in a field and you really get to feel your psychic abilities and your intuition grow. So be sure that you check that out because that'll probably be really helpful. And then of course the different videos that I want to put on here is, and I've got the Guiding Echoes Psychic Development Circle. It's only $29 a month, and that comes with a library of online courses. So far, there's 4. And every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, I host online psychic development classes through Google Meet. And we always have a great time during those classes. And so it's been really fun to see people grow in their abilities and also grow in their confidence when they give readings. So I hope that helps. So there's lots of resources I've got available for you. And of course, YouTube, there's so many amazing psychic teachers on here. And, you can always check out the different guidance and tutorials and whatnot that they have as well. So yeah. Alrighty. Keith is one of the members of our development circle, and he says, it's always so much fun. It is, Keith. I love it. So, all right. Let's see. Kalina asks, hi, Nicole, may I get a reading on whether to move forward with a Xeriscape landscaping project this year or to wait until next year? That's a good question. It feels like it's going to move forward next year. I feel like if you push it for this year, there's going to be some type of a hold up, because when I tune into it for this year, it's weird. It's like I see this image in my mind and it's faded. It's not clear. So that tells me that things aren't complete with it. There might be some information that you don't have yet or resources that aren't available. But if you move forward with it now, it feels like it's going to be this long drawn out process with lots of I want to say things pausing in the project. I don't know how. Delays. That's what I'm trying to say. There's delays. And I do see like long pauses, so things not getting done the way that they should or as fast as you'd like them to. But then when I tune into that for next year, I see it clear. I see it boom. I see it getting done. So based on those images, I would say You might start taking steps for it this year. At exactly what time, I'm not sure. But next year does feel like when it's completed. It does feel like that's when everything comes together. So yeah, I hope that helps. All right. So Ginger French, Nicole, do you feel this year is the time for me to buy a home, or would renting be best for me? Um, I actually feel like both of those options are good for you, Ginger. I am leaning more into, I almost said buying. Um, and then as soon as I almost said that, I felt like renting was good for you too. So I feel like this is one of those situations where both are really good. It really just depends on you. So if you're wanting to buy a house and the right opportunity pops up in the right location and it's the right everything, I also feel like it's going to be important to be very mindful of what you're compromising on. A lot of times when we go into buying a home or even moving somewhere, we almost always end up compromising on something. So just be very mindful on what you would be compromising on. And again, it just depends on what type of lifestyle you want. As a renter, if something goes wrong with the property, you can call your landlord and they're supposed to have things fixed. And so, I mean, renting can be easier, but there's also the chance of your rent going up or other things happening, right? Or your landlord selling the property. So with buying a home, you obviously would hopefully have more security, but if things break down or whatnot, you're responsible for everything. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But for both of those, I feel like they're both good options. I feel like you're going to be happy either way. And there's a catch 22 because, as I said, you're going to be happy either way. I also feel like you might be disappointed also, because if you buy a home, you'll be like, man, if I was still renting, I'd be able to da da da. Maybe I'd have more money for this. But if you stay renting, you're like, oh man, if I bought a house, I'd be able to da 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 da. Um, so they both come with pros and cons, and I'm not seeing one distinct path for you. I will say this though, renting might be good for now because buying a home is it's pretty permanent. I mean, yes, you can always sell your home, but we've all seen what the prices of homes are doing with the ups and downs and everything. So it might be best just to wait and to gauge and to make sure that it's absolutely 100% what you want before you dive in. Just because home ownership's a big deal, right? So, so yeah, so I hope that helps. Laura says, I wanted to mention to you, Nicole, I could have sworn I saw you on a show or documentary a while back. Just thought I would mention you. Laura, it's funny that you mentioned that because that actually popped up. Yes, I was in a docu series with my ex-boyfriend quite a while ago. And yeah, so I was in that. I was in that series. I actually don't want to give it a shout out for reasons that I won't get into, but yes, Laura, you did see me in a docu series where I had a probably 5 minutes of airtime in that in that series. But yeah, that was back in my blonde days. I was blonde back then, not blonde anymore. I'm loving this color. This is a new color. It's reddish brown, but in this video it just looks brown, doesn't it? But anyways, all right, so Brolic is asking, any messages appreciated, please. Let me see what I have. Do you have a specific question, Brolic? If not, that's okay. Um, I can change that for you. Rachna, planning to sell my business. Is it the right time to sell? Yes. Yes. I see it selling. Maybe hold off a couple more months or a few more months, but I do see this year being a great time for you, Laura saying. I thought that was you. I thought that was you. It was me. It was me. All right. Nothing specific, but anything to do with what's ahead is fine. Okay. So I'm still shuffling cards, just kind of mindlessly for you. But as you're asking about the future in general, I saw a tree, And usually when I see a tree, I think of money or wealth. What was interesting was for you, I heard shelter, but there's almost like this uncertainty around it, because I see it's almost like a little faded. The tree is a little faded. It's not in full color. It's not super bright. And there's also like this darkness, not like not in a scary way, just in a way that there's not anything, I don't know, standing out, I guess I want to say. So I feel like it's really important for you to get grounded in who you are, because I also heard grounded. And you might be weathering some storms soon that you weren't expecting. So I would say that as you continue to move forward, make sure that you have all the safety credentials, I think is what I'm hearing, safety credentials. This reading is about being prepared for the worst. And I don't want to scare you, and I'm not suggesting that the worst is coming for you. However, there might be some challenging things ahead. Um, the type of vibes I'm getting from this is, all right, so just be prepared. Make sure you've got money in the bank. Make sure you've got maybe food stocked up. There's something about being prepared and feeling grounded that's going to be important for you. So you might run into some type of a challenge within a few months. I'm not clear on the time frame for you. It's really kind of hazy, but sometimes we go through periods of life where things are a struggle for us. They're a big struggle. And during those periods, we sometimes wish that we had done more to prepare for that, even though we didn't know this thing is coming. And so sometimes that can look like even something like meal prepping and making sure we have plenty of meals in the freezer and in the pantry. For some reason, that's kind of what I'm seeing with you, is being stocked up on food. Now that might not be literal. Um, that might be more of an analogy of just preparing yourself for other things that are to come. Although I am a fan of, stocking up on toilet paper, food, paper towels, because we've all been through that, right? Um, but I also feel like this is about being very mindful and careful with your money and your finances. So I do feel like there's going to be some type of a challenge. I'm not being told what it is. I have no idea what it is, to be honest. But if you're able to be more careful now, and I'm also hearing, what is it, slim the fat, which basically means, instead of slim the fat, I'm sure you know what that means, but I'll explain it anyway, just in case, because it is an odd term. Could be things like, if you're not watching Netflix but you have a Netflix subscription, make sure you cut it off. Or even if you do watch Netflix, you just kind of put that on hold for a while. So you're being very mindful of how much money is going in, but especially going out. Um, and yeah, there's just this message about being grounded within yourself and being firm and knowing, I want to say, knowing your worth. So all of this to say, like, it does feel like there's something coming in again. I don't I don't know what it is, and I'm not trying to scare you in any way, shape, or form. It's just, I know I've gone through cycles in my own life, and we all have, where I had wished I'd managed my money differently, because then when I went through this transition, and it was a hardship, but it was a transition, it just would have been easier for me. So the transition itself wasn't hard. It was a good transition. Um, but going through it was definitely difficult. Like, it wasn't easy. And there were things I look back on, and it's just like, man, if I had done this, or if I had been more focused on that. But hindsight's 2020, right? So just be mindful of where you're spending your resources and where you're putting your time, and definitely, like, take a look at your money and things that are more practical. I would, based on what I'm seeing, I'm just seeing you stocking up on things, and that's somehow going to be easier for you later. And I don't know why. So I hope that's helpful for you. And again, please don't be frightened. I'm not trying to scare you. This is all to prepare you for whatever's about to happen. Sometimes it could be just like, if we lose a job, obviously that's not a good thing, but if we've stocked up and if we've prepared everything properly, then we're okay, right? We'll be better off than we were if we hadn't done those things. So yeah. So I hope that is helpful. Phil, thank you for the $4. I appreciate it. Did you have a question? Let me go scroll. Lots of people chatting today. I love it. I love to see you guys in here. Sorry for the long pauses. I don't have anyone helping me go through. Oh, hi, Debbie. Let's see. Phil, if you put a question, can you put it in again? Because I don't see it. I saw that you said hi earlier, but I don't see a question. Or if it's just a tip, thank you very much. I appreciate. So, but if you do have a question, let me know. And remember, guys, if you want a personal reading with me, you can visit my website, guidingechoes.com. The website is slow and it's not the best right now. So if you go to hit, order a reading and it's slower, if you have any issues getting through to anything, please let me know. I'm aware of the issues with the website. I apologize profusely, and I am working to get those issues fixed. So, all right. So Chantel wants to know, will I someday marry the man I'm in love with, but I'm not with at the moment? His name, I don't want to give his name out loud. Let's see, Chantel. You know, for this, I think I want to turn tarot. Actually, I love my tarot collection. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it beautiful? Let's see. I think we're gonna go with the witches. Yeah, we'll go with the witches tarot for this one. So, I was separated from my tarot and my oracle cards for about 3 years, and oh my gosh, it felt like the happiest reunion when I was reunited with them a couple months ago. I don't know how I went this long without my besties, because my cards are my besties. So, all right. Is she going to marry the man that she loves but isn't currently with? Also, you guys might have noticed that I'm getting way more active here on this channel. So if there are any topics in particular you'd like to know about that would help with your spiritual walk, psychic development, psychic abilities, whatever it is, can you just put that in the comments for me? Because I want to be sure that what I'm creating is helpful for you guys. And I have some ideas of different videos I wanted to make. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, but is this going to be helpful? Like, is this going to be helpful for the community? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of them will be, but anyways, yeah. Let me know. Let me know what you want to know is what I'm trying to say. All right. Let me shuffle one more time. Alrighty. And okay, Chantel, let me see what we got for you. All right. So I feel like the answer is no. And the reason for that is I got the world in reverse. And when the world is right side up, it's a very happy celebratory card. It's the world at your feet. It's things going your way. That came up in reverse. I also have the 8 of Pentacles right side up. That's interesting. We'll talk about that in a second. And then we have the 9 of Cups in reverse. So when the 9 of Cups is right side up, it's, again, a very positive card and indicates someone who is proud of their accomplishments and their achievements. It's kind of like the look at me card. And not look at me in a narcissistic way, just like, look at me, I did it kind of card. So happy accomplishments. So the 8 of Pentacles is interesting. And especially in this deck, because we see that she is cleaning her pentacles, right? She's got them lined up and she is working diligently to shine this pentacle. And so the way that we can transform that into your situation is it might be, first of all, I feel like it's important for you to acknowledge your own value and your worth. And I know that you already have that. I feel like you have that. I don't feel like your self-esteem is too low. I mean, we all go through ups and downs with that, right? But recognizing your own worth, and I want to say polishing up the parts of you that you feel, I want to say the word unworthy, and that sounds harsh, but that's the word that's coming to mind. So unworthy of what? I'm not entirely sure. But I'm assuming you do. Um, and sometimes, in order for us to be at peace with our own lives, we have to change the narrative that we're telling ourselves about ourselves, and that can be hard. That can be really difficult. So I feel like this is about you taking actions that allow you to feel proud of yourself without needing to be attached to this person that you love. Um, I know that matters of the heart are difficult, and so I'm not trying to dismiss what you're going through, because it is frustrating when you love someone and for whatever reason you can't be with them. So I want to acknowledge that, and I want you to know I'm not just trying to shift things and make it positive, and I don't want to give you the whole like, oh, when you love yourself, the right person will come into your life, because I think enough of us have been on this journey where we do love ourselves and we haven't attracted the right person. In fact, maybe we attracted the wrong person. But when we can create a life for ourselves that we do really like, and we can separate the need to be with anybody, then life becomes a lot more easier to manage. When we just get it out of our minds that we're not going to have this love life, we're not going to have this, at least for now, and maybe not ever. Even though that feels discouraging at the time, and there will be a season of mourning that, of grieving that, once we can really get to that place where we are serious and understanding of ourselves, that that's possibly how things are going to be, at least for a while, then we can really lean into our own lives, and we can really, I want to say, enjoy, um, enjoy our life, build a life for ourselves that doesn't require someone else to be in it in order for us to love it. um, so I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense for you. And yeah, so I know, I'm sorry, I know when people ask those questions, obviously this isn't the answer that they want to hear. But I also feel like it's so important for me to be honest with you and what comes up, because I'd rather you be honest. I'd rather be honest in you knowing how to work with that, as opposed to me telling you what you want to hear, which is what false psychics will do, and then you just like holding on to hope for something. I'd rather give you the hard truth so you can make the decisions that are going to be best for you. So Sing Blue Silver 357. Hello, the readings aren't free. Sing Blue, I don't know how long you've been watching, but I've actually given quite a few free readings here. So I'm doing readings lottery style. But if people do decide to tip and ask a question, then they are prioritized here, because I feel bad when people pay me and I don't answer their questions. So that is a really easy way to guilt me into giving you a reading. So, anyways, all right. So Vladimir is asking, how will the situation with the ex pan out with co-parent? It hasn't been an easy situation, so I'm wondering what's coming with her. Vladimir, I feel like it's actually going to take, I want to say a few more years, which is not what anyone wants to hear, but that's what I'm hearing. It's going to take a few more years for it to level out, because I do see like there's a lot of disagreement, and there's a lot of anger. That's the problem with this, is there's a lot of anger, and so that's what's making the co-parenting difficult. Um, I feel I. Hmm. Sometimes people just need to be right. And so their need to be right will outweigh any type of logic or anything that you throw at them. So you're going to be you'll have to be very careful on how you're going around all of this, because she needs to feel right. And this is also her needing or wanting to exert her boundaries and feel powerful. And it might be coming out in ways that seem toxic, but I feel like this is a person who is really trying to cling for any type of control, especially in her own life. And that happens a lot of times when people are confused and overwhelmed. So I do see there being some anger around this situation. And it might be helpful for you to look at different type of communication styles, simply because, again, with someone who needs to be right all the time, it's really important to learn, and it's a skill. This is a skill. It's really helpful to learn how to work with someone of that mindset, so that you can say things like, let's say she's fighting you on what day and time to pick up the kids, but that's not a day or time that's going to work for you. When she's complaining or she's wanting to shift things or whatever it is, you can say, you know what, you're right. I see your point. That's a good point. You agree with her at first, and say, I'm really sorry to put you in this situation. And while you're right, this other truth exists as well. And do you think it would be possible for us to be able to move this date and time to this? Like, I really want to work with you on this. So you start by validating, what she needs to be right about. And I can validate that. And then we just kind of work from there, because she needs to hear that she's right. Um, and if you're able to just give her that, I think that's going to diffuse so many things, because when you tell someone that they're right about something, they're usually not going to continue to argue with you. Like, what fun is there in that? Right? So I would suggest doing something like that. That was the exact issue, he says. This just happened this week. Okay, yeah. Just work on that. Work on validating her experience. And, I know it's probably frustrating sometimes, because it is. It just is. But I do sense that with her, there's just this complete feeling of overwhelm. Like I said, there's a lot of anger in the situation. There's confusion. There's this drastic need to get control. And I don't feel like this is control over the kids or over you necessarily. Like, that might be how it's coming out. But it's really about getting control in her own life. And so she's kind of grasping at straws. So even though it's difficult, if you can find ways to kind of empathize with that and speak to that issue, not in a demeaning way, but in a very compassionate way, say, hey, look, I know that things are probably really difficult for you right now. I'm not trying to make things hard for you. I promise. I just want to see if we can work through this, and I'm willing to bend in any way I need to, but it also needs to be realistic. So please let me know how I can help you with this, so the situation can be easier for both of us and for the kids. So I know that's easier said than done, isn't it? And even if you come at it with that approach, it doesn't guarantee that that you'll get the results you want. But it's worth a try. So, alrighty. Stephanie Center, any insight on my spiritual physical attacker, please? I'm not sure I understand that question. So are you saying that there was an entity that attacked you that's not a person, not in physical form? Is that what you're um, asking, Stephanie? I just want to make sure I'm understanding your question correctly before I dive in. So Vladimir is saying, yes, thank you. All right, I'm glad this makes sense to you. Alrighty. Also, I apologize if the streaming quality isn't the best on this video, because I have noticed that my computer's been a little slow and glitchy today, so if that's showing up on your side as well, my deepest apologies. Technology is just a little funky sometimes. All right. Let's see. So Stephanie's saying, I'm being physically violated by someone who can control the spiritual world and the codes in your body. Stephanie, I don't think that that's something I can comment on because that's not something I know a whole lot about. My if you know who this person is, my suggestion would be to maybe see if there is a local shaman or even a priest or someone like that in your area, who can maybe help you with, I want to say, setting up maybe physical boundaries within physical spiritual boundaries within your home. So things like holy water and maybe different talismans to keep that to keep that energy out. But this is this is something outside of my field of knowledge. I'm sorry that you're going through that. That sounds really that sounds terrifying, honestly. But I would seek out people who are more in tuned, and more educated in that area. As for me, that's not something I know a whole lot about. So sorry about that. All right, Debbie. Hi, Nicole. Do you have any guidance from spirits or angels to help me in moving forwards and any way to tap into spirit more? All right, Debbie. Let me pull cards for you. Let's see here. So I got them in my hand, so why not? Guidance from spirits or angels to help me moving forward. Okay. All right, so to Debbie's guides and angels. Um, I do see, Debbie, a more feminine energy around you, and this is an angel energy, and she's coming across as very soft, very compassionate, um, very, very loving. And if I had to, if I had to, I guess, give her a title or a label of some sort, she almost seems like a grief counselor. She very much seems like like a guidance counselor of some type. Um, and I get this image of her just being so soft and so lovely and graceful. And so I feel like the message there is just for you to know that you have your spirits and guides around you, of course, or your guides and angels around you, but this particular one is really standing out. And I got an image of you writing, so I don't know if you've been writing or journaling again, and if not, this might be the invitation for you to do that, because I'm getting this image of you writing, and it looks like it's nighttime. I don't know if that's relevant or not. So you writing, and I just see this angel next to you, and it's like she's looking at your words, she's looking at what you're writing, and I just get this deep sense of empathy and love that she has for you. So when you're asking how do you move forward, I feel like the message there is to lean into your spiritual support system, but I really feel like this particular angel is showing up for you to let you know that first of all, she's there. And I feel like this is the angel that you can really speak to. And again, I just get this overwhelming sense of compassion from her, like so much compassion. And I feel like that's what you need right now, is that empathy and compassion. And so she's showing you that she's there. And she's also showing me like this light, this orb that she has in her hands. And I heard transmutation. And so with that, I feel like what she's saying is, as you talk to her and as you trust her, and I wish I could get a name for you, I can't. I feel like I'm hearing an S name though, like it's a very human name though, like a Samantha or Stacy or something that starts with an S. I don't know. This could also be maybe another spirit who's near you. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, getting back to the angel, she's making me feel like as you talk to her and as you lean into her, she has the ability to help you transmute all of this into something else. So like taking your pain, and I want to say turning it into pleasure, taking your sadness, turning it into happiness. But I also see that it takes time. So really working with the angel realm, I think, could be wonderful for you. And I think that does open up your spiritual and psychic abilities more, but in a way that's very gentle and not overwhelming. because I feel like you're at a point where when it comes to your spiritual and psychic abilities, it's almost like getting back to baby steps. Not because you're a beginner, not because you've forgotten anything. It's nothing like that. It's more like in a level of discomfort of being comfortable with the steps that you're taking forward. So I don't know if that makes sense to you as far as the baby steps go. But I do feel like the angel realm is really wanting to work with you. So just maybe writing letters to this angel. Um, I wish I could pick up the name for you. She reminds me a little bit of Archangel Gabriel, like that energy. Um, yeah, and then also I just heard stars. So you've been, I don't know what that has to do with you. I know you're into astrology, but have you been wishing on a star? Have you been looking at the stars? Or I don't know. There might be something important happening in your happening with the star. I just heard star. That was very loud. I don't know how that relates to you though. So that's what I'm picking up for you, Debbie. So I know I didn't get to the cards after all because this angel came forward and she was front and center with you. But you do have a healing angel by you. She's very much about helping you heal and helping you to move forward. And I wish you could see it. Like she's just I see her hands out like this, and there's this big, beautiful, glowing orb in it. And I see that within that orb is so much power, and it's the power of love, it's the power of hope, of empathy, and just like within this orb is the transformation that you're seeking. So please continue to reach out to her. And yeah, I feel like this angel is going to help you a lot on your spiritual on your spiritual path, and also just with your emotional well-being. So I hope that helped, Debbie. Okay, let's see. I've got time for one more question. uh MMC, I want to know if I will still be working at my current job for more than another couple of months, or if I should start my own business. I actually think it's both. I think that you should start your own business. And I think that you'll be working at this job longer than a couple more months, because I'm not feeling like it shuts off in a couple months. I feel like it'll go longer. It may not be permanent. It may not go into, well, I feel like this job will be available for you next year. There might be some type of a delay, or that's weird. So I'm tuning into this, and I do see a period where maybe you're not working for a short while. So maybe there is a furlough happening, or maybe you go on vacation or something. But I do see you working, and then you stop for a little bit, and then you go back. But it does feel like you continue working into next year. And I think it's the same job that I'm looking at. It feels like it. But I also feel like it would be good for you to do both. So still start your own business and continue to work this out, work for this until you can, figure something else out. But it does look like that's mostly secure. So Debbie says, thank you so much, Nicole. You are very welcome, Debbie. Very, very welcome. So all right, my friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me for our psychic party today. It was a pleasure to work with all of you. And remember, if you would like to work on your own psychic gifts and abilities, please check out my psychic development membership. It's only $29 a month. And for $29 a month, you get access to all of my online courses, plus the new tarot course I'm creating. And we also meet weekly, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, where we have interactive classes. I will be adding a second class because I know not everyone can make it Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. So I will be adding another class at some point in time. I'm just not sure when. But yeah, if you're interested in working with me and others in tuning into your psychic ability, shining your light, getting the support you need, making new friendships, because I feel like we've all become like this tight group of friends. It's been wonderful, and we'd love to have you if that's something you're interested in. So for more information, visit my website, guidingechoes.com, and click on it's I believe on the menu it says psychic training. So I do need to change that. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.